Welcome to another episode of the Mixtape Man A podcast. I'm your host, Cole.
And I'm Court.
And today we're honored to have on Kalen and Michael from Outside Noise.
Woo! Yay.
Welcome on, guys.
Hi. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, guys. I've been a big fan of you guys for a while now. My wife just showed me your page. And for those listeners that don't know, Michael and Kalen, you guys have Outside Noise. It's a music review / blog. You guys are always reviewing really cool albums that are coming out, kind of lesser known albums, and it's honestly like one of the coolest ways to like find out about new albums and new music. And so really appreciate what you guys do, and I've just been a big fan and wanted to have you on.
Thank you. Yeah. Our focus really is on the underground stuff and the DIY stuff and trying to find stuff that no one else is really talking about. So
just for everyone that knows, you guys are based in Philly, right?
Yes.
And you guys started out in Memphis, I think, or Nashville. It was somewhere in Tennessee.
Nashville. Yeah, everyone except for me is from Memphis, but we actually met when we were all living in Nashville.
Oh. Yeah, and that was one of my first questions is kind of what's the story of how you guys all got together and then how you ended up moving out to Philly and starting Outside Noise. I'd love to hear that story.
Yeah, I mean, I usually start this by saying that, like, 3 of the 4 of us, so everyone but Kalen, went to this university in Nashville that's kind of like infamous for being a place where they like train like managers for the music industry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's called Belmont University in Nashville. And I think we all just were so thoroughly disgusted by the type of people that we met at this place that we decided to dedicate our lives to doing something like the opposite, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that does. How long were all of you guys at school when you decided to stop going there?
Well, we all graduated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it was like...
You still got the degree. Yeah, you got your paper and got out.
It was like the week after I graduated that we started Outside Noise.
And that's going to be 3 years in this June, right? Is that how long it's been?
That's
crazy,
yeah.
That's pretty crazy. How does that feel knowing that you've been doing this for 3 years almost?
I mean, it's been like work the whole time. Pretty much, we haven't really taken a break or stopped. And like our goal, we started with the album reviews, and then we added starting to make tapes for people, and then we started booking shows this year too. So we're just continuing to make it bigger and try to do more and bring more people in and bring the spotlight to more of these artists too.
How did you guys decide on Philly? How did that happen for everybody moving out there?
Well, we all hated Nashville for many reasons.
Yeah.
And Philly feels like kind of the opposite of Nashville in many ways. It had the scene that we were looking for. It had the actual DIY community, which Nashville really lacked because it is Music City. So everyone who lives there has this sort of, I think, drive to make it big. And then when there are people who are like genuine DIY artists, it's very cliquey and it's very protective for good reason. So I think that we were attracted to Philly because it has that genuine artist community. And it was, I mean, a right location, right time. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, we've been doing this for 3 years. We review an artist almost every day. And I think the number of artists we've reviewed from Nashville is probably less than 10.
Oh,
there's just not a lot happening in the experimental world in
compared
Nashville.
to the artists that we review from Philly, which I mean, before we moved here, I mean, now I think we do not like give preference to artists from Philadelphia, but there's a special appreciation for that. But I mean, even before we decided to move here, we're like, wow, there's a lot of great music coming out of Philadelphia, and there has been like for decades at this point.
And also cities that are a day trip from Philly, so that would be New York, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh.
And Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah.
And New York City, of course.
Yeah.
My question for you guys is, how did you get into weird / heavy / underground music?
I think that everyone might. I think we were all kind of already into it by the time we met, so I think everyone might have a different answer. But mine is that, like, When I was in high school, I was just really busy all the time. I was like, I had a bunch of like after school things I was doing. I went to like a magnet school that was very academically focused and was in a lot of like AP classes. So I had like a lot of homework. And basically I wanted to like have like a hobby that I could do while I was doing the homework, and that was listening to music. So I just started going on internet forums and finding all kinds of like just any kind of weird music I could get my hands on. At the same time, I had friends in school who were in like a couple of bands that would play out at this like local all ages space. So those two things, like seeing it in person and then also just this internet influence of all the albums the internet likes, kind of is what got me there. I don't know. Kalen, you have a much more like organic old school story with it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I also started going to shows in high school, and I would see, a pretty big artist and see the opener. And I was like, wow, I really like that opener. And then repeat where I go to that opener's headlining show and then see their opener. And then the opener's opener. And yeah, eventually I'm finding myself in these like basement house venues and stuff. And yeah, seeing just progressively more fringe, weird artists.
So with all the music that you guys are reviewing all the time, how do you guys keep up with all the albums that are coming out? And how do you, I guess it's got to be hard. How do you pick which albums you're going to review?
Spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Spreadsheets?
We have spreadsheets.
We have a weekly spreadsheet. Everyone gets a different section of the alphabet, and your job is to search the internet for albums that come out by artists with whose first letter of their name is in that alphabet range.
Wow.
And we swap every week, so it's not like you're only shot at getting a review if your band starts with the letter A, as if Kalen likes it. It's so like we swap, and then we come up with a big list, and we just kind of, we all have like different little projects we do. Like weekly, like Julia has the slideshow that comes up on Instagram.
The rapid fire.
Yeah. And Kalen mostly runs this YouTube series that's the like Up Next, and I do a lot of the short form videos. So we all just get this giant aggregated list and kind of just chip away at it with our own little things we do.
So what if there's an artist or an album that one of you guys really wants to review? Do they get special preference on that, or?
I mean, we do it by like a smash or pass system. That's literally like the tab on
It's
the
thumbs
spreadsheet.
up, thumbs down. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I guess that's a less vulgar way of putting it.
Yeah.
Thumbs up or down. But it's always been smash or pass. And I mean, if there's something that's really, really good, like bold it or like put your name next to it or whatever. But that's getting into more the administrative weeds.
Yeah, there's really rarely a situation. It does happen, but there's rarely a situation where one person is like head over heels for an album and then it like doesn't get a review.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Or we'll do like a retrospective too. I mean, we try to keep within albums that have come out within the past week, but I'm especially not like guilty of this, but I make it a habit to do retrospectives if there's something where I'm like, that album came out a few weeks ago and I can't stop thinking about it, can't stop listening to it.
Right.
Then I'll write a review anyway.
Yeah, and another common spot where we'll do that is if we didn't hear about an artist, but then when they come to Philly, we just like happen to go to their show because there's like a local opener we wanted to see. And then, because this happened, this sounds really specific, but it's happened multiple times. And this band is like touring on an album that just came out. And we're like, oh, well, it came out 3 weeks ago. We just heard about it because we just saw them for the first time and we loved it. So that'll put a review on the docket from an album from a few weeks ago. Yeah.
And a lot of social media these days isn't even chronological anymore. So
Yeah.
Right. Gotcha.
My question for you is, when an album, has there been a case where an album has gone through your selection process, you have listened to it, both of you have listened to it, and then come time to record the show, you have a big disagreement over the album? Has that ever happened?
All the time.
that has happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's like the
I'm
biggest instance?
Yeah. Biggest is, I mean, I don't want to like throw anyone under the bus. I'm thinking of an album that I did veto for Up Next that Michael brought. I guess can I talk about this?
I don't even really remember this, honestly, because this kind of thing just happens all the time. So
it was an artist called Chris Crack. It was like a rap album, and it was like, I don't know. I listen to rap. I love rap music. But I was like, this particular album just isn't really doing anything for me.
Yeah.
know.
This'll so our outlet for that is like God, I'm horrible. We're plugging the Patreon. But on our Patreon we have our weekly podcast that we do where we like the three of us have like a debate about what should be the album of the week. And that's usually because that's paywalled. It's like that's usually where the like, you know what? I actually don't like this album. Kind of like takes
Comes out.
Where all the truth comes out. Yeah.
Yeah, because we try, and that doesn't even really happen that often. It'll usually be like, I don't like this as much as this other thing, or like you know whatever. But we keep everything that we release like positive. We see no purpose to like, you know, doing what like Fantano will do sometimes, where he'll give like an indie album like a 4. Like that's just punching down. That's just mean, you know. Like
4 out of 10.
Right.
Yeah, that's brutal.
So that we if we don't like something, we don't talk about it. It's either we talk about it or we talk about it and like it, or we just skip.
Yeah, gotcha. That makes sense.
That makes sense.
We will definitely link your Patreon link in the show notes, so everybody
You don't
can
actually
go.
have to do that. That was just my explanation of the disagreements.
I'll do that. People
right.
need to go. People need to go follow your Patreon for sure.
And there's a free trial too, so you can check it out and decide if it's actually worth your money or not.
Sweet.
You can binge
Sweet.
the entire podcast in a week.
I mean, we've been doing it. We have over 100 episodes of podcasts on there, so there's a good backlog of content at this point.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I had kind of a follow-up question. So with the music discovery, are each of you guys, do some of you find a lot of new albums through Bandcamp or other like Instagram accounts, or how are you finding some of these albums to put on the spreadsheet?
Yeah, through Bandcamp, through a site called Rate Your Music, and then also just like word of mouth or people sending in submissions.
Right, you guys probably get inundated with that a lot too, right?
We get a
sending in
ton of
stuff.
submissions, but
ton.
every so often something does like rise to the top, and I'm like, wow, this was really impressive,
Yeah.
and it makes the cut.
Yeah, I think anyone, if they had enough time, which is the big thing that people don't have, obviously, could replicate pretty much exactly what we do by going to the Rate Your Music new music page and just scrolling until they can't scroll anymore. And just looking at everything and like giving everything a shot that looks like it has, potential to appeal to them.
Yeah.
It's more or less what our process is.
Cool. That was kind of one of the big questions I had. And does Carrie write for Bandcamp?
She did for a while.
Yeah,
But
for a
she-
second, Carrie
but-
was writing for Bandcamp.
But she does it now, or I was just curious about that.
I don't think she did.
Carrie's kind of on hiatus,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Carrie's furthering her education. This
Carrie
is
went
not
back to
like
school.
it's not like a secret. This is something our followers already know probably, but
Cool.
yeah.
So I listened to a couple episodes of your podcast in preparation for this. Cole introduced me to you guys when I found out that you guys were going to be our guests, which I'm super excited about. And I just have to say, like, I love what you're doing. I think you guys are super charismatic. Like you are also super, like for me, music a lot of the times is kind of ineffable. Like it's kind of hard to put into words the experience of an album and things like that. And yet you guys do so good of describing it, but also not like flattening everything to sound like using the same metaphors every time.
Yeah.
And
We try to do that, and I think we try to get more to the emotional core of the album. I mean, I don't know anything about music theory. I make music. I make noise music, though. So I really lack some of the language there to get into more of the technical side of things. And that's something that Michael actually helps kind of fill in some of my ignorance on.
But even, I mean, I never had any like formal training on it. It's just, what I picked up by like playing in bands and playing in like the high school band when I was in high school and stuff. But, we really like, I think we had just seen so many reviews that were like,
The guitars sound like this.
Exactly. It's like this album is good because the guitars sound like this. And it's like I just don't think that's how like your average person experiences music. Is like would this album have been better if it was like if the tempo was like 2 clicks faster? It's like what a bullshit question. I don't know. Like if all the numbers are right, will it be perfect? So we come at it from more of like I think what I do is kind of informed by like review of like literature. It's like I review it the same way I would review like a movie or a book or something. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I like that. One of your reviews, Michael, is of one of our friends, Eli, in Olympic Death. I like how you likened it to a supermarket.
Yeah,
I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, Eli's a great friend of ours. That album was great. So as soon as it came out, I sent it to you guys. That was one of the albums I sent you. So
nice.
I'm glad that you reviewed that because Eli definitely needs spotlight. They're actually going on tour right now on the West Coast. So
nice.
And Eli will eventually move out to you guys. Actually, he's planning on moving out to Philly. So
that's what I've heard. There's been a lot. People here are excited because there's like for whatever reason, there's like a big group of people here who like really love that album. Like it's like one of their tops for like the year. So whenever we heard he was moving. Yeah,
probably the Micro Goblet guys. I know that they love Eli, and those guys are awesome too. I loved that Micro Goblet album too.
Yeah,
and I also really appreciate, Michael, your jazz album reviews. Like I like how you describe your jazz reviews. So that's really cool too.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Michael loves to say that he doesn't know how to talk about a specific genre, and then he'll review it anyway and do a great job every time. You do that with jazz, and you do that with a lot of metal stuff too.
Well, that was what all the like historic jazz reviews on our YouTube were kind of an exercise in like getting me to be comfortable talking about jazz, so I can review like contemporary jazz.
Yeah. I love all those. Yeah, like the new stuff that you review and the old stuff. I love all those videos that you make. They're really cool.
Thanks.
So for the podcast, we wanted to have you on to talk about 2 different albums. So you guys picked an album, and then we picked an album to pair with it. And do you want to tell the audience about the album that you picked?
Yeah. It's Keep Honking. I'm About to Fucking Kill Myself by My Wife's an Angel. This is a band that is like local legends.
And I want to say, too, this band kind of low-key inspired us to move to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Or at least sealed the deal, for sure. We just went to this random local bar that we heard always put on, good shows, good live music. And so we go, and, we didn't know this band at first. We were just like, okay, yeah, sure, we'll see. And then they came on stage and absolutely, like, tore the venue to pieces. Not literally, but, if you've seen them live, I mean, you guys just played with them recently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just, like, absolutely floored.
Yeah, it was fun seeing how, because I played 2 different shows, and it was fun seeing how, like, even the 2 different shows were different in what they did. So, yeah, it was fun.
It becomes like performance art at a point.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Oh, yeah. Like, Garrett goes full on. I love it.
Yeah.
He's a sweetheart.
Oh, yeah. He gets it all out on the stage. But I mean, like, so many of their shows have just become, like, infamous, like, within Philadelphia. It's like people will talk about, like, the Ladder Show. And it's like you just kind of had to be there, but everyone knows about the Ladder Show, and like the Silicon Suit Show or whatever that was. But there's so their live presence is what kind of what like made them like super locally well known in Philadelphia. But I think the time has come for everyone to hear about them because their recorded output is now like at the beginning it was just kind of like a tape machine they set up in their room that they were practicing in, but it has gotten much more sophisticated and sounds great, and you should listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, you got 3 albums, so go check out all 3 albums. And the one we're talking about today is the most recent one that just came out.
Yeah,
just this month, I think. Yeah, it was this month.
Yes.
So,
and I think this is really them like at their noisiest, at their most chaotic, most unhinged, and least structured. Which I think is just an interesting way to explore noise music, is by just going all in and really holding nothing back, which is pretty core to what they do as artists.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we should probably mention that you guys chose their album "Don't Fall Asleep" from 2023, album of the year.
Yes.
That was our first album of the year.
And that's one that you guys put out on your label as well, right?
Yeah.
Not like label, but
It's
but
like a
yes.
distribution thing. Yeah,
Distribution, yeah.
We don't retain the rights or anything. But
Yeah.
you can buy tapes on our website and stuff.
Yes, that is one of the ones. And if you go out to one of their shows while they're on tour, I don't know how their sales have been going, if they still have any, but they you can buy the tapes we made from them with our little hands or my handwritings on them. But it's at all their shows. So
Yeah, I have to say, seeing them live in Pocatello, it was a small venue. It was what converted me fully. I liked the album when I listened to it before.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Garrett has such a stage presence.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, I felt like, I know this is bizarre perhaps, but I was like, it made me think of Judy Garland and how much stage presence she had and how she could put on a performance and just like literally like entrance a crowd. Like if you would have been, well, you've been to shows, but in this small venue, he's like going up and down with the mic and like the whole crowd is just like hypnotized.
They don't know what they're watching.
And
It's funny.
Right.
at one point he like glares at a little kid who was there because their parents owned the venue.
Yeah.
And it was so great. She stared right back at him. And
That's good.
I just have to say, like, it was performance art. Like, that is not an exaggeration, your description of that. And it
Yeah,
was
he's
so
wildly
cathartic. Yeah.
confrontational.
Yeah.
And I have to say, about midway through the set, it changed for me. And I have to say, like, the music carried, for me, a lot of grief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just brought it out of me. Like, it was so cathartic. And it just, like, I could feel it, like, just, like, radiating off my skin, basically. And I was just like, I don't know what you call that. I was like, is griefcore a thing? Like, what?
Yeah. Well, their album that came out before this one was called Yeah, I Bet. And it was more or less about like a really like intimate family loss for Garrett specifically. And I think it was also like, I think there were a couple of the other members of the band that had like similar things happen at the same time or something like that. And Yeah, I Bet is like the thing, like he settled on that name because it was like what he would say back to people when they would say like, I'm so sorry for your loss or whatever. It's like if anyone said anything like trite and like clearly didn't care, that was his like go-to. So Yeah, I Bet is like his response to people trying to like
Soften the
participate in
loss, yeah.
grief. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like super intimately tied to like what they do.
That makes so much sense. Because
yeah.
it like, oh man, like I almost cried. And I was
Yeah.
like,
You're probably talking about the song Marvin, because that one.
well, actually, it was
that the one that made
it was
you-
before that. It started with a Willie Nelson cover. Funny How Time Slips Away.
Yeah.
And then Funny How That Works, Marvin, and Lil Bug. And just those four
Yeah.
songs, boom, boom, boom. It was just like, whew, like
Yeah.
it was crazy. Like, just really powerful. Tabitha Cole's wife was also there and performed that night. And she talked about how it almost made her cry as well. He also gave a speech at the end that was quite touching. And
Yeah, basically he was just saying like, music, like these venues that they play in, and like going to live music is a way to escape from just trials and grief and whatever you're going in your life. And he's like, this is a way for you to come and forget about all that.
because you're focused on this
And you're
asshole. Yeah, that's what he said.
He was being a
Yeah.
little self-deprecating, but it was awesome.
And then we
Yeah.
got to go eat at Jack in the Box after with the
Yeah.
band, which was super
Nice.
fun. But
That was hanging out with him was cool. And then, but I will say, I agree with what Cord said, but the one thing, like they always make me laugh. I don't know. I
Yes.
laugh.
they're funny,
I
too.
laugh. That's how I react to the music, is I laugh a lot. I think it's
And
hilarious.
That's
you hear that in this album too. There's like a laugh track
Yeah,
on
there's literally a laugh track.
Buzzers.
But
Yeah.
I was talking to Garrett one time about it, and like somebody, I don't know, this just came out. It was like somebody, we were talking to somebody who has just seen them for the first time. I was like, yeah, I just like couldn't stop laughing. I don't know, like, sorry, I wasn't like trying
Yeah,
to
me
not take
too,
you
yeah.
seriously. And he was like, no, that's how I know that like people get it. Like that's
Yeah.
like the proper reaction.
Yeah.
That's like actually exactly what he's going for. And that's he's like, he'll like look through the crowd and see the people who are
Yeah.
like laughing, and he's like, those people
Yeah.
like get it or like feel the way
Yeah.
this feels, you know.
You're kind of laughing because it's funny, but I feel like you're also laughing in a way to break the tension.
Yeah.
It's a very, for me at least, it tends to be a very nervous laughter. Like,
Yeah.
especially with Garrett's style of performance, it's like you really never know what he's about to do next.
Yeah.
He just kind of acts like a crazy person who's about to snap
Yeah.
at any moment.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
amazing.
I'm more laughing at like how people are like just watching people react to them. People that don't know anything about the band.
Yeah.
That's what's funniest to me is like, anyway, but yeah, all those guys are sweethearts. It was great talking to Dan and to Caleb and Mike. They're all great people. But for the podcast, we asked you each to pick your 3 favorite songs from the album, and I was wondering if you'd want to share those. I'm curious what your 3
Yes,
favorites
so-
are.
We have like a list that we've both decided on, but I also know that we have our own separate favorite tracks too. So
They were
I don't
almost the same. We picked 2 of the
Oh.
3 same.
Oh, cool.
know. So for Keep Honking, I picked Lil Bug.
Everybody's gonna be hungry all winter long. 'Cause there ain't any work and all the fucking money's gone. And so here we all lie starving, waiting on the Becky call. Smoking the last cigarette while staring at our
Bowser's. And American Dream.
And the only thing I had different was I swapped Bowser's for Imagine a River.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And why those specific songs? Why do you guys like those ones?
For me, I picked Lil Bug and Bowser's together as a pair because on the album they're chronological. One comes right after the other. And I feel like they are sort of foils of the same emotion of just kind of realizing how bleak everything is. And in Lil Bug, it's reacting with this like pure terror and horror and really not knowing how you're going to survive much longer. And then
Yeah.
Bowser's is also reacting in terror, but then also, you know, throwing your hands up and saying YOLO and then drinking to forget and in the most self-destructive way possible. And then also destructive to all the others around you because, you know, no, you're bringing them all down with you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, my reasons for liking Lil Bug are pretty much what Kalen just said. It's like it's so visceral, like it's such a visceral discussion of like, you know, just like poverty and need and like, you know, lack and all those things. Just like the concept of like everybody's gonna be hungry all winter long is just like such a visceral. It's like everyone knows exactly what that means.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like I think choosing when to be direct and when to be like obtuse and like post-ironic, it just makes a really big punch on the record as a whole.
And I love Bowser's too. I saw someone they made a criticism of this record because they said that it has a lot of skits, and this album or this song is one of those quote unquote skits, and I am gonna disagree with that take. Because I mean, if you guys have seen them live, you know that they play this song live, and it's done pretty much like 1-to-1 as it is on the album. And I feel like it's a part of the storytelling. You know, it's not just like this arbitrary thing. And especially like I don't know, I like when he talks about like this place is really nice. You know, could use another bartender, could get my drink a little faster, and it is that tension. It's that making you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And making Garrett making himself a spectacle, and kind of embodying that character of like the biggest asshole in the room for a second.
Yeah.
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 Have you guys heard Jordy Greep?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He has an album where he totally is doing quote unquote skits and taking on these characters that are total assholes. And I don't see that as a negative. I see that as a strength because it's like a way to examine these characters and
Right.
and kind of deconstruct some things without like needing to be like super verbose about it. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So much of, especially My Wife's an Angel, so much of their stuff is like, kind of feels like anger at a specific person or a specific kind of person. And when you talk to Garrett about it, he's like, so much of that is directed like internal. Like so much of this is me writing about myself. You know, or it's like kind of the realization that like whatever we don't like in these other people, we all have something like that in ourselves too. And it's like, how can you be mad at that? I don't know. I don't understand the gripe that it's like all skits. It's like, or even if it was all skits, even if the entire album was a skit, it's like, what's wrong with skits? You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
And to me, they're very well thought out, even if they are skits. Like there's a reason why they're on the album. There's a reason why they're in the order that they put them on the album too.
Yeah, totally.
For sure.
And more about this song too. It ends with him screaming, "Do you know how hard it is to think when you're in pain?" And so it really flips that character on its head, where you start to empathize with him a little bit. Like you realize, like, oh, that's why this guy is like the drunkest, loudest dude in the room, is because he's suffering so profoundly. That this is, you know, the only way he can express that.
Yeah. I was talking to Dan about this song about Bowser specifically, and he said that, and I didn't even realize this, but he said when they were mixing the album, they mixed the drums, they panned it left and right to make it go in a circle to give you the feeling that you're drunk. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. So now I need to go back and listen to it now with that in mind.
Yeah.
Because I was telling
touch.
him, I was like, I really like your guitar playing on that song specifically. And he was like, oh, thanks so much. And I was like, yeah, it reminds me. I actually told him it reminds me a lot of Black Midi. And he's like, oh, I love Black Midi. And then he was telling, anyway, and then we started talking about them a lot. But just like knowing like they put so much detail into this album, even to like, that song, that part at the end where they're mixing the drums like that, like it's like a subconscious thing. So it's just cool that, they put a lot of thought into the album and how they recorded it.
Yeah. And speaking of like each individual member and like their own like, you know, like appreciations in different kinds of music, like I don't think I understood how jazzy this band was until I heard Mike talk about jazz. And then I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like that this drummer like loves jazz.
Oh, that totally
and
makes sense.
like that totally makes sense. Yeah, exactly. It's like that. Yeah, why didn't I see that earlier? But it's like once you know it's there, you can't unhear it.
Yeah, Mike's an amazing drummer. He actually, we ended up talking about Radiohead a lot. He loves Radiohead, so that was cool.
He
at
does.
the end of the
yeah.
show, there is a kid, I'll call him a kid, probably a high school kid, who came up to him and was like, I'm never touching a drum set again because I'll never be as good as you. And he was just like, no, like,
You got it.
just keep working on
Keep practicing.
it. Yeah.
So, what were your 3 favorites from the album? Court?
Sure. Number 1 for me is Pause.
Yeah, I love that one.
I relate to it to an extent because I grew up in a small town in Idaho, and there was so much pressure to conform for me. I don't know about for you. We've known each other since junior high. There was so much pressure for me to conform to a certain idea of what it means to be a boy or a man. And also like fear of being perceived as gay. And as someone who actually is queer, that was extremely damaging for me, and it was something I had to work through and unpack. And that song really captures like how like the imposition of toxic masculinity and men's fragility really is an obstacle to the ability to form meaningful relationships and be vulnerable and to be fully human. And it's funny as hell too.
Yeah.
Like I can acknowledge it's funny, but you snort. But it also it like expresses a very real experience for me, and something that I've really struggled with in Idaho. Then I would probably say my next choice is Lil Bug. Again, it's just such a profound depiction of poverty. And then I was reading an interview where Garrett talks about the end of the song. Because for me, I was like, what's this whole thing with the little bug? Like, I'm not sure I'm getting it. And at first I thought it was like talking about how the powers that be like crush us like a little bug or something. Well, actually, according to Garrett, which he is the artist, so I trust it, he says that it's how basically, I'm going to do a bad job of summarizing this, but basically how when you are hurting or in the position that the song describes, it's not uncommon to look for the weakest being in the room and misplace your anger at them and direct it at them, and how the powers that be encourage that. And so I thought that was really powerful as well. But and then the last one that I will choose is probably American Dream. For me, American Dream is a great deconstruction of American idealism about itself. And in an interview, they talked about, I don't remember, I think it was Garrett, talked about how they wanted it to kind of sound like reading billboards, like as you drive. And I can see that, like this, like kind of the tone of billboard text. It kind of makes sense to me. And I think it's just I think it's the album's thesis, basically. Like, I saw, I think it's called Post Trash is the publication. And in their review, they called this music for the end of an empire. And where I think the previous album was more internal, this one has that, but it also provides like sociological critique,
societal kind of thing. Yeah.
So those are my 3.
Cool.
Sorry for monologuing.
No, I loved it.
Okay.
I love
you're
hearing your thoughts. So my 3, we've kind of all picked the same 3 songs. My top 3 is Little Bug, Bowser's, and Pause. I like all three of those songs a lot. Little Bug, I remember when one of the shows, Garrett was like, this song's about a drug dealer. And then they went right into it. And so I thought that was funny that he said that. And then Pause. I was talking to Garrett about Pause, and I was just saying, like, I was actually telling him, like, my favorite songs on the album. And he was saying that was one of the songs that he was unsure of, like, putting on the album. He was like, I don't know, like, should I put it on there? Like, are people going to get it? And I was like, yeah, like, I totally got it. Yeah. I also thought it was, like, really funny. And then he was telling me that he has I think it's a brother or somebody in his family that is gay, and he shared it with them, and he said, what do you think? And his family member was like, yeah, Garrett, I don't get it, but you do you, or whatever. And so... and which I thought was so perfect. But anyway, the bandmates totally convinced Garrett. They were like, nah, you should put Pause on the album. And I think he's happy that he did. I'm glad he did too. I really like that one a lot. I know that.
Yeah, Pause was on my short list too to include. Yeah,
and I know you were saying, like, it does have a lot of meaning, but yeah, I also do find a lot of the humor in it.
Yeah. It's not gay to be sad. Makes
Well, I really like when he's just like, I'm not gay. He's just like, he's trying to deny it. I don't. Yeah.
I think my favorite part of the song where he's like, let's just go back inside and let's watch these two guys
grab
fight.
a couple
There's
beers.
nothing gay about that.
Watch two guys
grab
fight.
a couple beers, watch a couple guys fight.
That is my favorite part too. Probably, I was talking to him about that. Like, anyway, thanks for pick.
Yeah,
because as someone who's external to that whole experience, I'm like, I can see. I'm like, God, this is pretty gay.
We were talking about how, like, you can nervously laugh at their music. This is one of those instances where it is like laugh out loud funny, where it's like let's go back in, watch these two guys fight. Like, the first time I heard that, like, I was like. I was like in a ball on the floor. I was screaming, laughing. It was so funny.
And we were also talking to him about I Bet with good advice. We were just laughing at how funny that
run red lights.
No, about how they hard panned him, being like, that sounds nice.
Oh
yeah. That's something Julia and I still say to each other all the time.
Have you seen the music video for this for the song?
I think I saw it. I saw it one time, I think. I don't remember what happens during that part. What happens?
It's just like it's a zoom in on his face while he's speeding on a motorcycle.
That's right. He's on a motorcycle.
It's very,
that's
like, cartoony and weird.
Yes. Yeah, we were just talking to him about that. We're like, we said that all the time to each other. It's so funny. And then when they played the song, I was waiting for him to say it.
Yeah.
And I just laughed
it was so
when
funny.
he said it. But
Cole was hyped.
I was having a lot of fun.
It was awesome.
I
was hyped, but, like, it was all internal. Because I wasn't like expressing it outwardly. I was just entranced.
I just thought it was cool because I've been big fans since you guys talked about them, and that was one of the things that I was talking to them. I was like, yeah, I found you guys through Outside Noise, and they're like, man, those guys are so awesome. Like we've been on tour, and every show, no joke, someone comes up to us and say, I found you guys through Outside Noise, and so they just love you guys so much.
Yeah. And that's awesome.
So you guys should feel good about that. And we were like, we're actually going to talk to him. And we're like, oh, sweet, say hi to him. And I was like, we'll do. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Full circle. Oh, one other thing I was going to say, because this isn't on this album, but this is like something that immediately endeared me to this band. But did they do the song about the cop when they played either of the two shows you saw?
No, they didn't. No.
I seriously think it's like, so it's all that the song is. It's only like 2 minutes long. It's 30 seconds of like a just sound clip pulled straight from like a news report here in Philadelphia about like an instance of like police brutality that ended with the victim getting put in prison for like decades.
Oh, dang, really?
Yeah. And all that it happened, the band just lets the like sound sample play out. And then it's a minute and a half of Garrett going, Officer Pitts, fucking kill yourself. And the band is just like pure pandemonium. It's like completely just unplanned, just noise madness.
Just noise.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Some free jazz.
And I think that's like one of the, like, how else are you supposed to react to stories like that? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's like any amount of like rationalizing or like talking your way through what happened or even trying to like argue against it is completely inadequate. That was just something. It's like, I don't think I've ever seen someone react like this. And it's like also this it just is like the way that you should feel when you hear things like that, you know.
Real quick, just slight tangent. Have you guys, because we're talking about songs about cops, have you heard the song by Afro Man, Lemon Pound Cake?
I don't know this.
By Afro Man.
Yes, I did see this whole thing. I
so
saw the music
funny.
video. I saw all the
Yeah.
court case footage.
Yeah, this is where you like, okay, this is the one where he called him out and got sent to court. Yeah, I heard about this, but I didn't actually listen to the song. Yeah.
You need to listen to it. It's hilarious, and his house was unjustly raided by the police, and
Oh, yeah.
there's a lemon pound cake on the table, and one of the cops just keeps eyeing it, and it's just hilarious. So, anyway, before we go to the next album, which I chose this week, I do want to ask a question that you guys might be able to inform me on that I wasn't able to research before. What is pig fuck? Because I kept seeing that genre label being used for this album.
It's just a thing that people on the internet have been saying. We never use that term whenever we're describing music because it's so like nebulous and weird.
Okay.
I don't know. Like it's kind of similar to like when people were talking about like egg punk, and then egg punk ended up just kind of meaning like a bunch of different things and being really nebulous and kind of flaming out immediately because nobody could decide like what we should mean by it.
Okay.
I have a feeling pig fuck is going to be the same thing.
And
I
think
often see people using it in reference to like
Yeah.
noise rock stuff, but yeah, I really don't know what differentiates pig fuck from like anything else within that sphere.
Yeah. I've also wondered this. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Well, we something to research and come back. with.
I have never heard of any. I haven't heard that, so I don't know anything
it kept
about
coming
it.
up, and I think it comes from the '90s, like certain
Oh,
punk bands and
Yeah.
noise bands in the '90s. But I don't.
Yeah,
I haven't like.
I feel like I've seen people call Big Black pig fuck, like originating
Yeah,
it kind of
yeah.
from that scene specifically. But again, I'm not 100%.
So I had the task of pairing this week's album that our guests chose, which was quite the task for me because I'm new to this world of noise rock and post-punk, and I kind of come from a background in being more into like folk music and that kind of thing, but Cole has introduced me to so many great things through this podcast that really have pushed my horizons, and this is definitely a case where I'm so happy that our guest chose something that I would normally not have even had on my radar other than Cole, recommending it to me. So I listened to the album and I researched it a bit, and I came up with some criteria that I was looking for, and the album I ended up going with matches a lot of the criteria. But I'll just describe my process real quick of how I selected the album. So I wanted it to be like noise rock core with no wave. I wanted it to be jagged with disruption and tension. I really wanted the rhythm section to be interesting, and I think that definitely comes through on reviews of the drumming and everything. I really wanted angular guitar, but I wanted the vocals to be like front and center and be intelligible. And and I wanted it to work as like a full album. And then I wanted it to connect meaningfully with Keep Honking without just duplicating it. And so I searched and searched, and I can't even tell you the search terms I used. I used Google just searching, and I found this Irish band called Naked Lungs, and specifically this album, ironically called Doomscroll. I didn't choose it because of the fact that there's a song called Doomscroll on the Keep Honking album, but
There's also both
Yeah.
of them have river songs.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And I felt like it was noise rock, no wave. It had like this, it felt like it also had like this social and psychological tensions there. But like, yeah. And so I listened to a lot of different stuff before landing on it. And I think I had Cole text you guys because I wanted it to be something you guys hadn't heard before. And so I was thinking of USA Nails, which you guys hadn't heard of, and then Control Top, which I believe one of you had heard.
Yes.
Or maybe both. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was Kalen.
Which I like both of those, but they just didn't quite fit, I feel like, with this album. And when it came back that you had never heard of Naked Lungs, I was like, okay, that's the one. So that's the process that I went through. So this is from, I believe, 2023.
Yeah.
So it gets a lot of comparisons to Gilliband. And it was actually produced by Max, I can't remember his last name, but from Gilliband. And I can see that. Cole also brought up another band that I saw it get compared to.
Well, the three, when I first listened to it, I immediately thought of Gilliband, but I also thought of Daughters, and then I also thought of Model Actress.
That one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I wanted to listen to that before the podcast, but I didn't have a chance really.
Yeah.
But anyway, so if you like Gilliband, you might like this. Anyway, I just wanted to say that. Okay. My top 3 songs. Number 1 is probably Pressure. This one just is really intense, has like moments of just like a wall of noise, and I relate to the lyrics, just like the pressure that is put on a person. I like that one. And then probably my second choice is probably going to be Shell.
Before I flowered my grave.
Shell, the lyrics to me are so like mythological in a way. Like it's talking about like this queen of the land and pillaging and someone being burned at the stake. And it's an interesting story to me. And that's probably the most like the song that doesn't have the most to do with everyday life in a way.
Yeah.
And I just like that one for the story. And then my last one is probably going to be River Down. I just really like the intensity. I like the part where he's like screaming down. And he's like talking about like how like the flow of time, or wait, I might be getting mixed up with My Wife's an Angel because they both have songs about a river.
Yeah.
No, but it's a good one. So those are my 3.
Dude, I like those. Yeah. What were your guys' 3 favorites from this album, and I guess your initial thoughts on the album?
Yeah, you were talking about some comparisons earlier, and I feel like McCluskey is one that I think you could draw a few similarities here. Another, just like old school noise rock favorites of mine. And then as far as my favorite picks from this album, again, I think we actually had more differences here than we had similar favorite songs. So for me, my 3 favorite were Second Song, Shell, and Boo Boo. Second Song, I feel like is really just a like image of a man who's at the end of his rope, and then it's just like it's over. Like what happens when you finally reach that breaking point? And it's just a pure explosion of that tension, like that rope finally snapping. And then Shell, I agree. I really loved the lyricism in this one too. I loved the sort of the illusion of like the awareness of his own mortality, and kind of with the like placing flowers on his own grave. I don't know. A lot of the imagery was just so evocative and really cool in that song. And then Boo Boo also kind of gets to what we were talking about with My Wife's an Angel and Garrett's tendency to like make himself a spectacle. And this song kind of alludes to that similar theme as well. And but in more of a regretful way, I think. It's kind of lamenting that you've made like such a fool of yourself. And I think everyone's been there before, you know.
Yeah. It says something like I laugh at things that make me cry.
Yeah.
And then it also says I made a comic of myself like over and over again. And so I totally see what you're
this one has more of like that kind of post grunge. It's less noisy and it's more melodic and mournful.
Yeah. I also picked Shell as one of my 3, so we all have that in common. And then my other 2 were River Down and Database. Basically, and this is such a like, I don't know, maybe this was not the way to go, but you mentioned earlier like comparing this to Daughters, and like we talk about this. This comes up quite frequently on like Outside Noise, but like looking for like Daughters replacements. Things to listen to because because you don't want to listen to Daughters anymore. And these 3 songs were like they got that thing that's like the rare cross point of being huge and like cinematic and not being corny because the intensity is like there. You know what I mean? Like it makes you feel it with them.
Yeah. Well, and one of the reasons why I was thinking of Daughters 2 specifically is just like I don't know if they're using, because they made like that special guitar pedal, but they are it kind of has like that. It's kind of I don't know how to describe the pedal, but they make their guitars sound like strings or kind of like a synth kind of thing. Anyway, that's kind of what I was relating to Daughters.
Yeah.
But then also the intensity of the lyrics and like the vocal delivery. That's what made me think of Daughters.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I mean, so much of like what Daughters does is like would sound stupid. Like a lot of like what they do, if you put it out of context and tweak just a few things about it, you could believe it was like a soundtrack for like just like a mass market like action movie, you know?
Oh yeah.
And then but then like whenever you put it into the context with all the intensity, it makes more sense. This band I think is able to do that. And like you were talking about with the guitars, I picked up on that too, and my other comparison point for that was Thantafaxith, if you know them.
Who is that?
Thantafaxith. It's like
I haven't heard of them.
Oh, they're so sick. You got to check them out. It's like a extreme metal band that is kind of comparable to no one but themselves. But they have that same kind of guitar sound that's like halfway between like a tornado siren and like like noise, like almost like like extreme end of what shoegaze does, and like just all of that stuff. So that would be one of the other like sonic comparison points I would make, which is a great compliment. I mean, very few bands are able to pull that off, and even fewer bands are able to make it sound like something you should take seriously, instead of just being like just big, just pure bigness for the sake of bigness. So,
Yeah. Cool. Let's see. So my 3 favorites, I really like the opener. I like Gak a lot. I think that's a great track to open the album up on. I liked Outcome a lot. And even though I laughed at it, I do like Pressure a lot. Pressure's a great. And I wasn't laughing. I have to describe I have to explain myself. I wasn't laughing because I thought it was cheesy. I was laughing because I just wasn't expecting that
kind of caught you
solo to be the way it is in that part. But I think it does work with the song because it is building to something. I just didn't expect it to sound like that. And so I don't know. I just laughed because I was like, that's
It's like
wild.
this abrupt change.
It was more, I wasn't laughing because I thought it was cheesy. I was laughing because it was kind of just wild. I was not expecting
Yeah,
it.
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did want to talk about something with second song. There's this part where he says, "My mother just wants what's best for her pink little baby, her prodigal son." And his voice during that part, for some reason, his vocal delivery is just so cool to me. And he does it throughout the song, but for some reason that part just like really stands out to me. A lot of the lyrics are really like poetic. Like,
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. I was going to ask basically like, is this an album you would recommend to someone?
Oh, yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
I definitely would. Yeah. Yeah. At first, I was like, how did this slip us by? This would 100% be the type of thing that would be on our radar. And then you're like, 2023 is like, oh, yeah. For like half of that year, we weren't even operating. The other half, we were like still figuring it out. So that makes more sense.
I didn't even think. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if they're getting ready to release a full album, but they did just release a single.
Oh,
Perfect.
nice.
So
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they're super on our radar now. So, and I appreciate you bringing it to the table. I mean, this is like I said, this is one of those where I was like, this is a big miss for us if we let this, if we let this go through.
well, I'm glad that you liked it.
Yeah. Another thought I had on the album too, like Court, while you were describing kind of like your initial thoughts on it, about it being well, I can't remember. You said mythological, and it
Yeah.
made me think of the album cover, because the album cover is a painting, and it depicts. I don't have it on me right now, but it's very.
Oh yeah, it's totally mythological.
It's very mythological.
It's like
and-
an angel stepping on someone.
Yeah, just the album cover itself. So I liked that was kind of that they used the album cover that way to kind of
Yeah.
show that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. A big contrast I would say between the albums is this one's not as funny.
Yeah, it's there's not
Yeah.
funny moments. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the other one is funny. And like it's
But it's also serious too. That's why My
Right.
Wife's an Angel is awesome. They can ride both those lines, and you can get both those two different things out of it.
Yeah. That's why I kind of describe them as like post-ironic. It's like in, Yeah, I Bet, when he's like, anybody ever thought about killing their dad?
Yeah.
It's like,
when he
it's like-
said that in the show.
it's like, that's a joke, that's not a joke, and it's also a joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
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 That
Yep.
song is funny too.
And this album too, of course, is a lot more structured overall. It has a little more traditional song structure in it, so I think it's definitely more approachable, especially for anyone who isn't already super familiar with noise rock as a genre. I think this is maybe a better entry point even than My Wife's an Angel.
Yeah.
My Wife's an Angel is
I
a
would
good
agree.
entry point if you see them live. They can win you over.
Yeah.
with a
Oh,
live show.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because then you'll get it right off the bat.
Exactly.
The only reason why I got it is because of you guys sharing the music, and then I was able to listen to My Wife's an Angel like a ton before we played with them, and then when they played, then it like made me love them even more. And anyway, I laughed even more and all that.
My first introduction to noise rock was going to a Melt Banana show.
I took him to
Perfect.
see Melt
Yes.
Banana.
And it was
Excellent.
a transcendent experience. The music
Yeah.
literally like reverberated through my whole body. It felt amazing.
I told Corey, I was like, "You're gonna love this," and I was trying to describe it to him, and he's like, "This noise rock band from Japan? Like, what's the big deal?" And I'm like,
and I like
"You
listened to
don't
it on like
understand.
YouTube, and I couldn't
It's
get it.
amazing.
And then we went to the show, and I basically like,
You actually got out and you started moshing a little bit, which was cool. I was like, "Yeah, Corey's
yeah, even with
moshing."
my bad back, yeah, it was awesome. I went up to Garrett at the end of my Wife's an Angel set, and I said, I've had two concert experiences that I would say felt transformative. And one was a Japanese noise rock band, and he went, Melt Banana?
Oh, he knew right off
And
the bat.
I
That's
said
awesome.
yes. And then I said, and then this show. Like, honestly, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was crazy. Yeah.
Japanoid stuff is on like a different level.
Yeah.
yeah.
My Wife's an Angel is definitely like and every like American and just like Western band in general that's in that same like freak out, breakdown kind of mindset definitely is indebted to the Japanoid scene.
So I read your bios, not to be creepy or anything.
They're on
That's
the
fine.
on
That's
your-
part of the. That's what you're supposed to do. Yeah, I want
Yeah,
someone to
on how-
Nardwar us one day. I want someone to be like to pull up my report card
Yeah.
from when I was in kindergarten.
I don't think I quite achieved the level of Nardwar with Dan Shaw from Landowner, but our first interview with him, I felt like I pulled out some things. He's like, "How did you?" Oh, and also, what's his name from Pitchfork?
Oh, Evan Minsker.
He was like, "How do
yeah,
you know
Seesaw.
about that?" Yeah. Anyway, I wish I was as good as Nardwar. But anyway, Kalen, your Outside Noise bio specifically mentions metal noise and extreme/experimental music. Is there something that makes extremity feel alive to you instead of like a gimmick?
Alive instead of like a gimmick. That's an interesting question. And yeah, I think that you can tell when it comes from a place of like trying to be an edgelord, just trying to make people uncomfortable, like for the sake of it all. And I don't know. It's hard to put a label on when you can tell someone who's like actually giving into like the lived experience of doing something extreme versus someone who's like putting on an act about it. I don't know. It's really hard to put that into words.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sorry, that was a very non-answer. I'm sorry.
No,
But
that's
I
okay.
gotta
think
chew
that's
on
an
that
answer.
one.
You should
I
give
think
her
that's-
someone credit. That's an answer.
Thank
I
you.
think
Yeah,
that's great.
but yeah, I mean, it's really hard to kind of parse that out and like check all the boxes to be like, yeah, this person's
Yeah.
legit, or like, no, this is just fake and put on. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I feel like that is a good answer. Michael, your bio says the project, so Outside Noise, the project came partly from seeing how industry ambition flattens art.
Yeah.
And I was just going to ask, as it relates to my wife's an angel, do you feel like they feel like an antidote to that at all, or?
Yeah, I mean, they are everything that the industry isn't. They are kind of like unsellable. They will just say something so inflammatory and bizarre and genuine that that there's no way to market it, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, even like the name of this album, we had to be careful with like how we reviewed it on our socials and stuff. Or like we have to censor the name of it, unfortunately.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of something I would even just point out if somebody asked this question and didn't give me an example of a band to roll with. It would be a band that I would go to first and say like, not if you had this band in the music industry school I went to, you would not be cool for doing this. You would be extremely uncool. It would be like the least cool thing you could do. But at the same time, like you said, you get a bunch of people in a room and they are won over instantly and they all have been there as long as they're, not too cool to get involved. You know what I mean? People who are too cool to get back in Garrett's face and laugh at him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There were a few people like that.
Yeah. So as long as you're not like in the back with your arms crossed, it's like, you know what I mean? That's,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's basically if we all let ourselves be genuine, we're all going to end up finding our own little version of My Wife's an Angel. But the industry just cannot let people get to that point, I guess.
This question is for both of you. What do you wish more musicians understood about music discovery right now?
I don't know. To an extent, I see a lot of people talking about like wanting to be noticed, and especially like wanting to hit like the Rate Your Music charts, wanting people to review their stuff, wanting that outside validation. And I understand that too, especially as someone who like makes music. I'm like trying to put an album out this year. But it's like you have to put it out for yourself. If you're seeking that external validation, then you're not really coming at it from the right place, I think.
Yeah. I would say the days of there being a like mass market for anything underground is either already over or about to be over. I mean, like outside noise to an extent is kind of trying to be the voice of that if it still exists. But I think what I'd rather people do is use what we do to it's like we're finding all of these little interesting communities around the world and highlighting the best of what they've done. And I want people to either go down the rabbit hole and check those things out, or just appreciate the fact that there are this many, things in this constellation, these many different groups. So what I would tell the artists is forget, the anything about like promoting into the void, like don't just promote into the void. Don't just make like TikToks because you think that's what you're supposed to do. Get into your community and ask like, what can I do for these people? Like, how can I serve this community and get, and like, we can all come up together. And that's where like, we're still talking about My Wife's an Angel. They're such a perfect example of that because they have so many diehard fans from just this like, like groundswell of like, just going to these shows and organizing shows. They organize shows at their house. So they give away their space to be used by this community. And in return, they're just like this beloved facet of, Philadelphia extreme music. So, that's what I would tell artists is just get involved in your local scene and go hard with that. Like,
So I guess
Cole's doing that.
I guess me and my wife are doing what you were saying. We try to do.
It seems pretty small here.
We try to do house shows at our place. So yeah.
Yep.
And then I have one final question, and then we can be done. But my question is: you are people who make music yourselves and artists in your own right, and has your experience with outside noise been informative to how you personally approach your own music?
Oh, I mean, yeah. My experience of like making noise music is directly informed by outside noise. In fact, funnily enough, it used to be called, Michael, wasn't it called outside music? Was that what it's originally?
It was just called outside.
It was just called outside.
But on anywhere where the handle outside was taken, I would use the handle outside music.
And yeah, I was like, I don't know if outside music is right because we also want to talk about noise, and then also sometimes we'll do like spoken word stuff, or other more like things where I'm like, I don't know if this really, I don't know if this really counts as music. So, I suggested the name outside noise, and then in the process of like doing our reviews and finding artists to talk about it, I discovered no input mixing as a genre / musical technique. And then that was kind of my entry into like actually making music for the first time. Because I'd always wanted to make music, and I had a friend who kind of taught me how to use Ableton, but I couldn't quite like get a handle on it. It always felt more like computer programming than it felt like anything like intuitive, like anything like playing music. And so I found this technique that like finally actually worked for me. I had, Michael had a mixing board that he let me borrow, and it just like opened up this whole new world for me to like finally have this like artistic expression that I had never been able to like properly harness before. So yeah, I think without like doing these deep dives into underground music, I would have never found no input as a technique, and then wouldn't have ever really like made music myself without that.
Well,
I'm not the right person to ask about the Kalen definitely has 100% of the share of the answer on this, because I more or less stopped making music when I started doing outside noise, and the reason is super boring. Is just time.
That's fair.
You still got your bass in the corner over there, though.
Yeah, I played bass before I did outside noise.
Michael's very inspired by Weezer. I'm sorry.
No,
Sorry,
we did
sorry.
okay. So I think one of like the last shows my band ever did was called Hallow Weezer. And our goal was to get like, we were gonna cover Pinkerton beginning to end, and we were gonna get another band to do the Blue album, and the Blue album band just like didn't show up, so it was just Pinkerton, and it was great. We had a great time. It had a pretty good turnout, and I think we did all right, and the people who were into it were super into it. Anyway, that's the Weezer connection. I was just in this like alternative rock band that probably sounded more like the Pixies than anything else. So,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, which
Is it-
people might
is it
not
online
guess
at all?
Yeah, good luck finding it. It's called Judy. It's JUDI, which is like the least search engine optimized thing you can possibly do. But yeah, we I think the best song we ever had was called Hotel Frontier. So look for that song and you can go from there.
Hotel
But,
Frontier
Okay.
by
Yeah.
Judy. Keep an
Okay,
eye.
we'll look it up.
yeah.
Do you when are you putting that album out, Kalen? I'm curious.
I don't
Do
know.
you yet, or-
Hopefully by the end
Okay.
of the year.
Well,
It's
let
not
us
done
know,
yet,
and
but-
we'll share it with everybody when you
Yeah.
put it out.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
thank you.
Kalen-
I'm playing a show on the 4th of July here in Philly. I'm excited.
Kalen, I also wanted to say to you specifically, because earlier at the beginning of this interview, you said something like, "Oh, I don't know anything about music theory or like the technical side." But what I just was gonna say, I feel that way so much with Cole because Cole's like a genuine musician. Cole, whatever, and but what I do want to say to you is, you are so eloquent when it comes to music. Like when I've listened to your podcast, so do not sell yourself short. You might not use the jargon of like music theory as much, but you definitely express ideas about music extremely well. So
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate
Yeah.
that. Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of imposter syndrome there.
100% for me too. So,
Well, thanks for being on, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming on. And if you guys haven't listened to these albums, go out and listen to them. They're amazing. We highly recommend them. And is there anything else that you guys want to plug before we let you go?
We're gonna be doing more stuff on YouTube, so go on YouTube.
Cool.
And if anyone listening is local to Philadelphia, keep an eye on our page, especially because I think we're gonna continue booking shows in town.
We have a
and that
couple
sort
of
thing.
ideas being kicked around for like late summer, or early fall that might turn into shows with our brand name attached. So
Okay, sweet.
I hate plugging the Patreon, but we do have that, and then we also have like a little zine club there too, where we'll send you a zine in the mail.
yeah,
It's fun.
oh, cool.
Sweet. Yeah, we'll definitely link all that stuff for people to check out. So thanks so much, guys. And we'll talk to you later.
word.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. It was fun.